Cuba, representatives of the foreign press hear rebel leader Fidel Castro uphold summary courts-martial in reprisal against members of the former Batista regime. He says 400 will face firing squads. And here at Cuba's military prison, where relatives wait in long line to visit prisoners, there are some 700 awaiting trial. Each hour, each wondering perhaps whether he will be among those who will escape quick justice, which Fidel Castro defends by citing the 20,000 Cubans he says were killed by the Batista regime. Now to the Sports Palace, where 17,000 watch in a carnival setting as a three-man revolutionary tribunal sits in judgment at Havana's first war crimes trial. They confront three former Batista Army officers accused of 200 murders. Rarely has the newsreel camera looked in on a more dramatically explosive setting. Correspondents file news copy which rivals fiction. For example, the quote, "I'm in a Roman Colosseum." Those words from the lips of the first defendant at the show trial, Major Sosa Blanco, age 51, accused of murder, torture, robbery. Before the judges, a parade of witnesses. One is a 12-year-old, Argelio Estrada. Against Blanco's protests, "I'm not a murderer, I'm a military man who carried out orders in wartime," points the accusing finger. "He killed my father." Evidence builds while the gallery shrieks, "Kill him, kill him." 13 hours later, Blanco is convicted, sentenced to die. The proceedings will move to a simpler setting, but not before the Sports Palace show trial draws criticism abroad.
Everybody who tries to take a middle-of-the-road position understands. You are subject to attack from both sides, and that's perfectly natural and proper, but you've got to take it from both sides. And my own opinion is that anyone who doesn't understand what this administration has been standing for after two platforms written by Republicans, and after 6 State of the Union messages supported by budgetary and economic reports, must not have read as seriously as they should have.
From Andrews Air Force Base is British Prime Minister Macmillan, accompanied by President Kennedy, who had gone to the airfield to welcome him. Mr. Macmillan is here for a weekend of conference with Mr. Kennedy. The meetings of the two chiefs of state are also attended by other officials. A wide range of subjects are discussed, including the possibility of informal talks with Soviet Premier Khrushchev, economic adjustment to the European common market, and Russia's responsibility for the resumption of nuclear testing. An informal break in the talks is spent strolling the lawns with Mrs. Kennedy, the British ambassador and Lady Ormsby Gore, and Carolyn's two ponies, Macaroni and Tex, who seem to be acting as unofficial greeters for all visitors to the executive mansion. Before leaving for a series of talks with Canadian Prime Minister Diefenbaker in Ottawa, Mr. Macmillan praises the partnership between his country and the United States.
It is this sense of partnership, of being able to just meet and talk things over as partners do, which makes the value of these meetings. And I'm deeply grateful to you for making it possible. And I hope that this system will continue, because I'm sure that it is the basis of a cooperation between our countries which has great value for the future of the world.
Italy's fascist dictator Benito Mussolini proudly handed his 16-year-old son Bruno his pilot's license in June 1935. Bruno would die 6 years later in a flying accident, and his father would write a book in his memory. His elder brother Vittorio would be infamously remembered for something he wrote after flying bombing raids over Ethiopia in 1935. rifle bullets had been fired at his aircraft by Ethiopian tribesmen who had no air force or anti-aircraft artillery. And Vittorio would write, "It was sad but also amusing to see Ethiopian tribesmen burst out like a rose after I had landed a bomb in their midst." Vittorio, who gloated that war was like a sport, wanted to become a movie director. So in 1937, he went to Hollywood and met the Our Gang kids who possibly might have been putting him off.
Mr. Mussolini, I'm speaking with fun.
Very glad to meet you.
Glad to meet you. Mr. Mussolini, I'll post me, thanks.
Very good.
Mr. Mussolini, we glad to meet you. And when I come out to where you live, may I make some pictures? Will you make some pictures of me?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Say, Mr. Mussolini, if I come out too, will you give me a job with Alfalfa?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.